Welcome to Covenant Tribe Media Podcast, where we explore all things writers and filmmakers with an emphasis on faith-based and independent creators. The host is Ashia Goldson, a multi-published author, screenwriter, and filmmaker. Now, let's talk media.
Good evening and welcome to Covenant Tribe Media Podcast, where faith meets purpose. Today we have a very important, a special guest, author Victoria Arnold. Hello, Victoria.
Hi, how are you?
I'm awesome. I'm doing so well. So pleased to have you here on the show this evening.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. So Victoria, would you just introduce yourself to our listeners? Tell us who you are, where you're from, before we get into your book.
Yes, so my name is Victoria Arnold. I'm born and raised in Atlanta, currently residing in the Henry County area. So I'm an author, a self-published author. I like to write. My hobbies are like cricketing, so I'm pretty crafty at making like personalized cups, T-shirts, anything that needs to be personalized. That's kind of my specialty as well.
Okay. Very talented. All right.
Yes.
Okay, good. So you say you live in Henry County. So that's for those who may be listening outside of Georgia. They may not understand, but that's in Atlanta, right? Metro Atlanta.
Yes, Metro Atlanta.
Right, where I'm located as well. Very good. All right. So now that we know where you're from and you have this new book, would you tell us the title of your new book?
Yes, Hello, Adulthood.
Okay. Hello, Adulthood. Chronicles of Growth, Lessons, and Self-Discovery, right?
Yes, that is the subtitle of the book. So
Yes. But that says a mouthful right there. There's a whole mouthful in that. Tell us about what inspired this book.
for me, just kind of going through when I was in my 20s, entering into adulthood, there were a lot of challenges, like some good, some bad. I had to face things I weren't necessarily really taught or given like a manual to. So in the last year of my 20s at 29, I told myself, I said, I want to write a book and I want to share my experience from basically college graduation to now and just share that with young people and even people that may not be in their 20s, but maybe there's an aspect or somewhere in that book they could relate to.
Okay, yeah, that's good because those young adult years can be tough. There are a lot of lessons to be learned, right?
Yes, a whole lot.
Right. Let's begin at the beginning. When did you know for sure? I know you were going through these things, but when did you know for sure that this was going to be a book that you were going to pursue?
So I'm going to say probably 2022. The book wasn't published until last year, 2024, but 2022 was when I started writing and I say, I want to share, the highlights of some of my experiences and different topics.
Right. Your journey.
So,
Okay, so once you decided, okay, this is going to be a book, tell us about your process. You said you're a self-published author. Tell us what that process looked like for you.
yeah, so initially I did write. I started typing, but for me, I found it also easier as well to do like voice memos. So sometimes I would record on my phone, just my voice memo, kind of speaking what the topic and what I wanted to talk about there. I went through the KDP, the Kindle Direct Publishing process with Amazon. So that was the main platform I used. I typed it a little bit, but then I mainly did voice memos. I had them transcribed into like the manuscript, got that edited and really just followed the steps on Amazon KDP as far as getting published.
Okay. And about how long you said the process started in 22 and you were done in 24?
Yes, so 2 years roughly.
Okay. Along this time, because writing is definitely a journey in and of itself, and you're reflecting on all these moments, did you have a lot of support during this time? Were you telling people that you were writing a book or were you just secretly writing?
I was secretly writing. I didn't tell anyone about the book until probably, I'm going to say like 2 months before, 1 to 2 months before it was scheduled to be published. That's when I started telling like my family and my friends. I was fortunate enough to have support. Everybody was excited, especially when I told them what I was writing about. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. That's good. Were you a part of any writer communities, anything like that?
No, I wasn't. I'm still not a part of any writer communities, but
Okay.
honestly didn't realize those were, I guess, existed. I should have known they existed, but no, I didn't join one.
Okay. Because, writing can be such an isolating experience, Having a community is definitely helpful. But okay, so you got it done, though. That's great, right? Praise God for that. So what is one thing you would change about the process if you could do it again? Just the publishing process, the writing, getting it published, that publishing part.
Ooh, I would say probably outsourcing more. Like, I did a lot of the formatting and those things on my own. Took a lot of time and at moments became frustrating. So I would probably outsource more, like hiring more people to kind of help me streamline that process a little bit better.
Right, because it is a lot, right? Probably more than you expected.
Yeah, it was way more than what I expected.
It's a lot, I'm telling you. Okay, so you got it published. You were successful in that part. Once the book was released, what did you then do? What did you do in terms of, I guess, marketing at this point, once the book was released?
Yeah, so once it was released, of course, it like the announcements on Facebook, Instagram, but I also had a book launch party.
Excellent.
Which was very fun. And, it kind of felt like it was a celebration of just finally completing it. So with that book launch party, I put it out there, I advertised it, I sent out the invitations. A lot of people showed up. I had it at it was a dessert/coffee shop.
Okay.
Other regular customers, they were able to come and see like, oh, what's going on here?
Right, absolutely.
That was the main thing as far as marketing goes. And then also looking for opportunities to go to like book fairs, anything that was going on in the community. I tried to sign up and get out there as well.
Yeah, that's good. So have you found a lot of success in that arena in terms of the book fairs or just fairs in general and things like that?
I have. I will say they're really helpful. Some events I may not have made like a whole lot of sales, but I made connections. Yeah, connections are they can go a long way.
Right. They're so important. Yes, very much so. And a lot of events, I'm sure you'll realize if you haven't already, sometimes there are just not a lot of people there prepared to buy on the spot. Not necessarily, but in time, like you said, once you made the connection and they have your information, they may come back the next week, the next month, 2 months from now, share your information with other people. So,
yes.
So yeah, that definitely works. Can you tell us anything without giving too much away, maybe about one of the chapters? Maybe what is your favorite chapter?
Oh, my favorite chapter is probably Pursuit of the Wrong Career. I talk about, and it opens up the book. Just I graduated college, and instead of really going for a career that I knew I wanted to do, something I loved, I was passionate about.
Right.
Chose comfort, and I chose a career, like I basically had chose a desk job, something that I didn't even study in school. Just I talk about pursuing the wrong career and how I identified really what my passion was and how to do something every day to feed my passion. That's probably my favorite chapter in the book.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, been there, done that. I know exactly what that is like, having to feed your passion outside of your day job, I'll say.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been feeding your passion. How would you say you've been feeding your passion? Just one thing you've done.
Continuing to write.
On the right. Okay. How would you say, or would you say, that your faith has helped you through this process? All of this, even identifying what your passion is and getting through the book, writing the book, the process. What would you say?
I did a lot of praying.
I'm sure.
So just a lot of praying and making sure that what I write about, that there's a lesson in it, or at least something people can take away from it or hopefully relate to.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of praying. I talk about my relationship with God in the book as well.
Right. Definitely for just guidance, right? I'm sure.
Yes.
Excellent.
Transparent as well. So
How did you find that transparency? Was that difficult?
in the beginning, yes, because my thoughts were always like, oh, what are other people gonna think? And it's, well, who cares? This is my book. That's how I look at it now.
Right.
But yeah, at first it was just kind of like, oh, am I sharing too much? But at the end of the day, people come back and they say, wow, this part of your book or something really helped me.
Exactly.
That in itself is rewarding.
Right. You found that it is impactful to your audience.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, that's very rewarding. Very rewarding. What have you learned from writing the book yourself? I know you wrote it. You have all these nuggets of wisdom for the person who writes the book. But oftentimes, while we are writing, we are learning ourselves. What would you say you've learned from writing your book?
Ooh, to be patient.
Mm.
I tried to rush the process a little bit or rush things, but like something that's going to be good, you have to be patient with.
Yes.
Just seeing it through and making sure that what you're putting out there, what I'm putting out there, so to say, is not perfect, but just exactly what it needs to be.
Right.
Shared. So
yeah, that patience,
yeah. Because a lot of times, like little things I was having to do, like the formatting,
right,
all of that, I did become very frustrated because it's not really my area of expertise. But then realizing, just be patient, take your time, and you'll figure it out.
Right. Now, that's definitely a lesson. And that's a lesson I continue to learn because sometimes, like you say, sometimes you want things in that moment, right?
Yeah, you're just ready to get to the end.
Yeah.
I was ready to get to the party part, and it's like,
of course.
There's a lot of things on this checklist you got to do.
Okay. Yes. Yes. And a lot of the things are not fun.
Yeah, at all.
It's always worth it, right? When you hold the first moment you hold that book in your hand.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
That's a moment right there. I know you wrote this book, but I interviewed two kinds of people. I interview people who have written a book, and for some people, it's a one and done, and it's at least in their mind at that time. They don't really consider themselves a writer. They just like, okay, I have this story inside of me that I need to tell. And they don't necessarily know at that point that they're a writer necessarily, or that they have other stories to tell. Was that your case, or did you know immediately that you were a writer? Once you knew you wanted to write this book, did you understand the mission at that point?
I did. I've known for a while that I'm a writer. I have other projects in mind, other things I want to do in terms of writing. So yeah, I would say yes, I knew I was a writer.
Okay, wonderful. So you knew it all along. Okay.
Yes.
Great. And you said your family was supportive. That's wonderful. You do have plans to write more books. Can you give us a sneak peek into something you are thinking about writing or anything like that?
So next, what I'm actually working on is a Bible plan. Not necessarily a book, but I am working on a Bible plan, and the topic of it will be grief. So that's something I'm looking to hopefully have finished maybe sometime in 2026.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. And I can imagine grief is such a touchy subject.
Yes, it is.
So, but definitely necessary. Definitely something that everyone goes through at some point in their life, and definitely something that I believe people need guidance for, because sometimes you can just be lost in it.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so we're looking forward to that one. What is, aside from the specifics of that book, what is next for you? What are we to expect from Victoria Arnold? Because I just have a feeling this is just the beginning.
Ooh,
right.
Aside from, I guess, the Bible plan, I do want to have in mind a children's book one day. And also in general, I enjoy plays. So something I foresee is me hopefully writing and producing the stage play.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that would be in the near future.
Nice. Very nice. All right. Okay. Definitely waiting to hear about all these things. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Tell us about this book here, Hello Adulthood. I'm sure we have people who are listening, either going through some of the things in your book or have gone through them or have children that need the book or relatives because adulthood hits us all. So how can they reach you? How can they reach out, purchase the book? And also, how can they find out more about you if they desire?
There's two ways. You can go to Amazon.com, and if you search Hello Adulthood, put in my name, Victoria Arnold, it'll pop right up.
Okay.
It's a really colorful cover with big
Yes.
flowers on there. The other way, you could go to Beacons, that's B as in boy, EACONS // she is victory.
Mm.
There's a link there where it'll take you to my profile. You can buy the book, and then you can also fill out a form if you'd like to connect with me on a project or just to talk or anything like that.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. I hope everybody's gotten that. Amazon.com or beacons.ai/she is victory, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Great, great, great. So that's how you can purchase the book. That's also how you connect with her. It's a beautiful book. Yes, I've seen the book. It's beautiful, definitely pretty, very pretty. And now we're coming close to our end. What advice would you give someone listening? So number one, a person who is maybe experiencing any of those topics from your book, right? Just give us one piece of advice to someone who's listening. And number two, also, what advice you would give to someone who wants to write something, someone who has not started to write yet? What advice would you give them as well?
So for the person, I guess, as far as the topic in the book, I would just say give yourself grace.
Right.
A lot of, I feel, going through life, not even just your 20s, early adulthood, it's a lot of learning, a lot of trial, a lot of error, a lot of ups and downs. And sometimes you just want to throw in the towel and be like, this is it. But I would just say give yourself grace and keep going. Even when it's hard, there's a better side from whatever the challenge is that you're facing.
That's good advice.
Thanks.
And that's not just for young adulthood, because I certainly don't fit in that category. but even in your 50s, just recently had a birthday. Yes, turned 58. And still, there are areas of life. There's always a new challenge. There's always a new stage you're going through. There's always a new challenge. We go from glory to glory. Yes. So I definitely would agree with that. Just grace is definitely what's needed.
Yes. A happy belated birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. And the next part of the question, the
Oh,
advice for someone who wants
yes.
to write. Mm-hmm.
For someone who wants to write a book, I would say best advice I could give. Take your time, and no one can tell or share your story better than you can. We all have something in us that we can share that will help and encourage others. So there's no wrong way, I would say, to tell your story other than how you know how to tell it. And tell it with confidence. Like, don't be afraid. I guess for me, I felt like, oh, what would people think? Like,
Right.
there's somebody that is going to come back and say, you know what, the part that you were scared to share, someone else is going to come back and say that really helped me.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah, nobody can tell your story like you can. Don't be afraid to share it because it's yours and it's meant to help somebody else.
That's good advice. That's very good advice. I love that. Own it. Own it. Right.
Yes, own it.
I love it. I love it. Victoria, thank you so much for joining us this evening and for sharing your writing experiences with us. I can't wait to hear about your next writing adventure and hope that you will tell us about that one as well.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it. All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. You have a good one.
You too. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And you have been listening to Covenant Tribe Media.
Thank you for listening. Join your host, Asia Goldson, next time on the Covenant Tribe Media Podcast.